Hey, so I kind of wanted to give you guys an update on my SCS, what it looks like now that it's implanted, and kind of how I'm doing. It's been about a month since I had it implanted, and those first couple weeks were rough. I was really sore. I was dealing with a lot of other issues at the time, and it just, man, I was sick as a dog, but not because of the SCS, because of the CRPS. So, let me show you kind of what it looks like now that it's implanted. Everything is internal for the most part. So you can see there's my scar. You see that I do have a little bit of bruising still. It's been a month, but I did have to deal with an assault during that time. You can see that I do have a lump where my battery is. Most of that has to do with the fact that I've lost about 50 pounds, so I'm down to about 90 pounds right now. But normally, you don't really, from what I understand, feel the SCS normally if you have more body fat than I do. But what it feels like, it's kind of like your legs have fallen asleep. Honestly, it's like a tens unit on a bigger scale. I mean, mine covers from my mid waist, my kind of stomach area down all the way to my toes. It takes my pain from about an 8 average down to about a 6, which is a better for me. It's a lot better. I will take a 6 over an 8 any day. Um, yeah, so it kind of feels like my legs have fallen asleep. Once the SCS is officially implanted, it's a lot less positional than the trial was. I noticed with the trial I had to be really careful. When I'd sit down, it would be, I'd have to turn it up because I wouldn't feel it as much. But then the moment I went to stand up, I'd get like a giant zap, and you know, it wasn't the most pleasant of things. But now that it's all stitched in and sewn in, I don't have to worry about that as much. The only time I have to turn it down now is when I go to bed, and that's because as you lay down on your back, it pushes the the um, leads closer to the nerve branch, and so it gets a lot stronger. Um, yeah, but oh, so this is the remote control. I have the same remote. They have a different model that's like the creme de la remotes, but I really don't need that right now. I'm still trying to figure things out as far as what settings work best for me and what pulses and what hurts and all that jazz. It's all learning process and learning curve and trial and error, and um, so the remote, it tells you when you're running low. Like right now, my battery needs to be charged, and it lets you know to charge the battery. Normally, there's a little black disc that sits on this. My son has taken mine and relocated it, and so I actually have to go and talk to the vendor and get another one to replace it for now. Uh, but hey, it's around here somewhere. But anyway, you charge the little disc thing, and then you just kind of set it over. It'll beep, and then when it stops beeping, it's in the right spot. Actually, charging it, I find, is the most uncomfortable of the entire process now. And that's because, one, there's like a belt that you can put it in to hold it there. I find that because I have a lot of nerve damage in my stomach and in my abdomen, um, that it's really painful. So I just kind of prop it up against the back of my chair and in between my back. Uh, that's painful in a different way, just because it kind of pinches and then it gets sore because I'm leaning up against it, and nerve damage. You guys totally, I'm sure, understand it. But yeah, so that's the remote, the battery. You charge it probably once every week or two, depending on uh, how high you have it and how many like hertz or megahertz or whatever it is, or watts or volts or whatever they shock the hell out of you with. Um, yeah, so there's some that take up more energy and there are some that take up less, and so it all just depends on what works for you and your pain with how often you're gonna have to charge it. It really depends on the settings. Uh, yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of a brief update on the SCS. Overall, I would say it's a pretty positive experience.